Basically, the movie Elindil's Secret follows a historian, character Abigail. She finds a cloth, and on it there's a picture of a jar, and also the sense that there's a secret that can be found, Elindil's secret. What she doesn't realise is that Elindil's secret has been kept secret and protected by a clan over thousands of years. And as she searches for it, she gets entangled in them, but at the same time they're having their own conflict and wondering whether it's time to now go and find this secret for themselves. We shot on mountaintops, we shot in rivers, we shot at waterfalls, we shot in garages that were stinking hot, doing all the blue screen shoots. But I think everyone coped really well. There was never a sense that people were, well, I say that apart from the -2 degrees or whatever we had up at Mount Hotham. I think people kind of got a bit cold then, but apart from that everyone was really good. I knew this movie had to be a location movie. I knew even before I started writing it that we couldn't build a lot of sets. We had to be able to go to locations and shoot things, which meant that a lot of it had to happen outside. I also knew that we had a lot of pretty locations around us shooting in Victoria, so I thought, why not utilise what we've got? Part of what I wrote to was based on what I remembered from a child from going on camping trips, and then other parts happened simply through videos that I watched. My dad went on a bike ride and took some footage of Mount Feathertop, and I thought that would be a great location. And then coming up with the idea of the backbone and not having a budget again, you've still got to travel, and even different places in Victoria can take 4 to 5 hours, even up to I think we had 7 hours of travelling to one location, 5 or 6 cars up to Halls Gap. I mean, we've really limited the kind of equipment that we use in the movie, so it's really been a camera and tripod for most of it. I'll go handheld if I feel like we need a bit more energy in the shot, and it's not going to compromise the fact that we're shooting in a compressed format. The crane came about as simply I'm friends with the person who owns the crane. He said, look, if you need a crane for one shot, I'd be happy to come and set it up for you and help out with that. It's actually funny because the day that we use it, I thought, well, if I've only got it for one day, where's the best location to use the crane? I thought, well, it's got to be the scene of the waterfall. And also, it gave us the ability to do some different shots. Part of the requirements of the story were people get wet, and everyone knew that. And on the whole, everyone was really good. The most difficult part was jumping into freezing cold water. In terms of getting wet, everyone coped pretty well. I know it wasn't much fun at the time, but I think looking back, they'll all feel happy about it. The person I do feel sorry for is Dave Seraphin, who got wet multiple times. I think probably nearly every single time that he came to shoot, he got wet, and particularly on some of those colder days, having to act in a wet costume time and time again. As far as I'm aware, he was really happy about working on the project and working with me. We did a little bit of preparation before the fight scenes. Shannon Wood has done quite a bit of fight training in the past, and he got in and we did a few sessions with him. But when it came to actually coordinating the movement that would happen, I really relied on Dave Donchie. So he really choreographed all those fights, and even all the ones in the final scenes where there's a big fight of lots of people. He choreographed all the different elements that were happening, and then it was just a matter of me putting them together. In terms of the whole movie, it's something like a third, might be a quarter of the movie is blue screen. Probably that was a little bit, in hindsight, that's maybe a little bit too much. Really challenging. It's cheaper to buy blue screen material than it is to build an entire set. And because we had a few different sets that were going to look a little similar but also had to functionally be very different. So we figured if we have to already shoot blue screen anyway, let's do those entire scenes as blue screen elements, and hopefully that will reduce some of our costs. In terms of where we actually shot, it was inside garages. Really, it was just one wall that we shot against. Maybe at best sometimes a wall and a bit either side. If you realise when it's all cut together that we were always shooting in the one direction, and simply moving the lighting around to adjust for that one wall, I think that in itself is quite a feat. Apart from the fact we had a real life car accident on set, the car chases were, again, with a bigger budget, with having the ability to use crane cars, and also if we had better facilities for dealing with safety, but at the same time hopefully getting the effect that we need, and for the running chases as well. I mean, the main thing is to get energy in those moments, to keep the camera moving, create fun chase. There's a sense this movie feels like it's bigger than Ben-Hur, even though it's really small and it's an independent feature. But someone's got to own it, someone's got to drive it, and that person is me. And the thing is, I have such a passion for making movies, working in the television industry, which I really enjoy, but also of telling stories. So this is a great opportunity to tell a story, and because it's my vision in terms of, first of all, wanting to come up with an idea and then spending a bit of time with John Peel and saying, what could an idea be? And him kind of sparking something off and then running with that and going, okay, well, let's write a script.
And Geoff.
Well, basically, Elindil's Secret is a low-budget amateur production, a feature-length film that me and a bunch of friends have decided to put together. We've put our hard-earned cash and our hard-earned time into making what we consider a fantastic, fun adventure film that I think audiences will really love. Elindil's Secret, what is it?
Action!
Well, that was fun.